Welcome to another session of Cosmic Convos. This is your host, Cassie. This session is going to be all about balancing energies. And before we jump into it, I just want to remind everyone that we do a podcast every single Thursday. We do a channeled message every Friday. But if you ever want a topic discussed on Cosmic Convos, use that email address down below and send me a message, and we'll see if we can do one. Otherwise, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, balancing energies. What do I mean by this? This is something that I want to discuss because I don't think there's enough emphasis put on balancing energies. And usually, when I'm doing my psychic readings, this always comes up with clients who are having a difficult time. They're looking at things, they're trying different things, and nothing's changing. Their life isn't going the way they want it to go. Things aren't happening the way that they're attempting for them to happen. And they're putting all this effort and energy in and not getting the results that they want. And so, this is something that I felt was really important because I think it really would align with a lot of people. When you think of universal laws, they truly all come back to the single need, which is to balance energy. Every universal law is centered around balancing energies. Whenever you think of manifesting and the steps it takes to do that, when you think of how to do energy work, everything is all about creating balance, and that's how you create a permanent change. So, when we think about balancing energies and we're using this throughout our day, it's something as simple as money. That's a big one for a lot of people. We always feel like we don't have enough, we want more, we're chasing it, we're getting a second job, we're putting in more energy, more effort, more work. But the problem is when you stop considering energy exchange, how much am I giving and how much am I receiving? And that's what I mean by balancing energies. And everything and every aspect you do needs to be balanced. One of the most common things that I'll get in reference to jobs is people who will have these positions, they're not getting promoted, they're not getting a salary increase, they don't understand why, they're the top performer, they're holding up the team, they're doing everyone else's work, and they're not understanding why they're not being compensated, they're not being recognized. And this all comes back down to balancing the energy. What I ask that person is, are you getting equal value for the same energy that you're exerting? This will apply to relationships. This will apply to how you interact with your partner, how you interact with kids, friendships, money, how you create a business, your hobbies. Really, anything you can think of, you can use this single formula to really understand if you're balancing the energy or you're tipping the energy. Most times we're tipping it. So, again, are you getting equal value for the energy that you are exchanging or exerting, putting into something? So, back to the person with the job. When I ask them this question, they think, well, no, I obviously want more money. I'm not being recognized, but I'm doing all the work. So I ask them, why are you doing all of the work if you're not getting equal value for it? It doesn't mean they necessarily have to have money or even recognition. It's whatever that person feels is equal value. Maybe they get more flexible schedule. Maybe they get more time off. They get gifts and perks, company lunches. That's equal value. But if you're not receiving that, then I always recommend pull back the energy that you're putting in order to demand that there is equal value. So when that person is doing that, I tell them, how is anyone going to look at what you're doing as valuable enough to give you more things, to raise your salary, to give you a promotion? You're showing them your capability, but you're not holding them to a demand that they need to match your capability. They need to give equal exchange for what you're doing. And so I tell this person, pull back your energy. Stop doing everyone's work. Stop being the one to communicate everything. Stop putting in more time and extra time. And when they question you, when everything starts to fall apart, when things are no longer getting done, Now the people that are not holding their end, the people that are not putting in equal value in exchange, the people that are not communicating, the people that are not doing their job because you're always doing it for them, are going to start to be held accountable. And at the same time, either one of two things is going to happen. Either they get held accountable and they step up, so you're not overexerting yourself to a point where it's no longer an equal exchange, or they will recognize that this person is incapable of performing at the level that you previously performed, but because you're no longer giving that performance for free, they will have to give you equal exchange. They will have to match you. They will have to step up. Either way, it puts you out of a position of having to do something that creates an unequal balance. There's not an equal exchange. Okay, that's just one example, which I think is very common among people, especially working people. And this goes again, even for a relationship. If you're putting in all the effort, all the work in that relationship, you're the one always giving, you're the one always doing, you're the one communicating, always collaborating, always, making sure that you have different ways of getting together, whatever it is in that relationship, and you feel like you're doing more than the other person, then you pull back and you stop giving so much energy. You stop trying to prove your value and prove your worth. And you allow yourself to know, I've already proven my value and worth to this person. They have seen the best of me. Now I'm going to stop giving it to them because they're not deserving of it, because they're not equally matching me in that exchange of energy. It's not balanced. Again, one of two things will happen. Either that person will never match you equally, and so you will either end the relationship, hopefully, or you will stay at the same level as them and the relationship most likely will not progress, or that person will begin to give you more attention, more time, more effort, whatever it is, because they recognize there's an empty space where you used to feel it. It's no longer being filled. So someone has to fill that space. So they will step up and fill it. But then it's your job to make sure that you maintain a balanced energy. When they stop giving, you stop giving. When they give more, you give more. It has to be balanced. Nothing will ever work the way you want it to work until you create a balanced energy. Again, every universal law comes back to this one fact. This is how the universe ultimately exists and operates and works, is through balancing the energy. Even if we think about someone as an individual and their self growth, and this is something that comes in a lot. You can find someone's past life where maybe they were just this terrible person. They did a lot of things in the more negative sense, in the darker aspects of life. And then this life, they're struggling because they're trying to live in the light and they're trying to figure things out, and they have a lot of challenges and hardships with doing this, but it's something that they're attempting and that they're doing. Again, even for our own personal growth as an individual person, we have to experience both sides of the scale before we can find the in between balanced piece. If we only experience one side, we never learn how to balance that energy by doing both sides. We have to experience the dark and the light, the negative and the positive, the happy and the sad, the angry and the joyful. We have to experience both sides. So there might be a phase in your life where you were extremely selfish and mean. And then all of a sudden you started to be overly giving because it pushed you into realizing, well, this side does not work for me. So let me go to the other side. That side will not work for you either, but you have to experience both in order to discover the middle ground, the balance of both sides. So this is my podcast for balancing energies. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Otherwise, tune in next week for another podcast session. Again, email that email address if you have a topic you want me to discuss that you haven't heard me do so yet. If you want a personal reading, check out my cosmiccassie.com website to do so. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.